Alright, so I'm going to play this newly made High Elf army versus the Shadow Stalkers, also newly made. I got this from Beholder Miniatures. Really like their High Elves, so I went after them. Sold my GW army, and so I felt like I had to do this in order to justify that sell. And so I start with my Dragon Cavalry. It's the real hard-hitting unit in the High Elf list. I don't think there's anything that's tougher than these guys. They got 3 quality, 3 defense, they're fast, fearless, have impact, 1 attack with lances. So they don't do a lot of damage, but whatever they hit, you know, whatever, they're gonna beat it up pretty bad with 2 armor piercing on the attack. Yeah, they're definitely going to do damage. So yeah, they're most likely going to hit, and then they're most likely going to do damage. So they punch above their weight. The High Noble is on a horse, so he gets an extra defense. So he's also 3/3 with toughness 3. Gets 3 attacks, AP 3, so he's automatically up there with his AP whether he's on the charge or not. And he has high prowess, which makes everybody hit at 1 extra, so really they're all hitting on 2s. So yeah, they're hitting all the time. Anytime they have an attack, they're hitting and they're damaging. Phoenix Warriors I put in there. Got 5 heavy halberds, that's 5 attacks, AP 1 with rending. Most of the High Elf infantry are going to be quality 3, defense 4. They get regeneration, so they can hang around in a fight longer than... They're the most defensive of all the High Elf troops. Shadow Sisters, still haven't figured out how I want to use them. They're high quality, they're the epitome of the glass cannon. They have quick shot, which means they can move full and take their shot. So they can move 12 inches and still shoot their weapons. The great thing about these weapons, even though they have short range at 18 inches, they do have 1 attack and rending. So that's much better than the other archers. I've got a bunch of warriors here with the champion. Actually, that's one of my sword masters, but I didn't have a hero. I've got a mage-looking character. And so the champion, I would have liked to have put prowess, but instead I put protective aura, which means when they activate, he can put +1 defense on 2 units. So these guys, even though their defense is 5, a lot of times they're going to get a defense of 4. So champions 4/5, so the warriors, so essentially for the most part they're going to be 4/4s. They only get 1 attack, he gets 4 attacks, no armor piercing or anything, so they're really good chaff clearers. So they're going to be hitting half their time, so that's 10, 14, so that's going to be 7 hits on average. And if they're not going up against very armored troops, they're going to do a lot of damage. And they're the cheapest units that you can get in the High Elf list. Then I got my Lion Warriors. They're fearless and protected, which means they get extra defense. I think I totally forgot about that, though. So they knock off armor piercing. They have great axes, 2 attacks. I kind of think that the way that OPR put in the stats, this should be Sword Masters, getting the 2 attacks, and then the 2 AP, 1 attack, which is what the Sword Masters have, should be on the Lions because they've got these huge axes. So, you know, Sword Masters are supposed to be the whirly-twirly guys, so I think they kind of got that backwards, but we're going to play it as it is in the OPR. And then we go to the Shadow Stalkers, and you can see here we've got the Hounds, and if we go back to the setup, I really should have done that opposite, but we've got the since I'm doing a solo mission, I set up mine first, which is the High Elves. I've got the Dragon Princes with their leader, Phoenix Warriors. I've got the Sisters in the middle because I don't know where they're going to be. I've got my Warriors, got the best infantry really flanking them. And then these guys here, there's a forest over here, so I wanted to put them in there. I think in the GW version they've got Strider, but here they don't, so I totally goofed that up. But getting back to the Shadow Stalkers, got Hounds over here, Butchers, what are these? Scourge, Specters, and then the leader, I don't know how to say his name, we'll get to in a second, but the Shadow Hounds, fast, they have stealth, they have 2 attacks, but they're only 5/5, so they're meant to get in there and come from an angle he didn't expect. All the units have Shadowborn, which is basically undead, the undead rule. They have stealth, and everybody pretty much has stealth on the Shadow Stalkers. So Shadowborn and stealth, so undead and hard to hit, which is good because they only have 5 defense. Now we've got the Scourges. They're just the basic infantry. Again, we've got Shadowborn stealth. I didn't realize this when I took the Sisters, so they're going to be hard to hit. They've got full command. I think I forgot about that. Scourge Master gives them +1 to hit, so they're going to be basically 4/5s, which is really good. And then we've got our Butchers, which are our heavy hitters. They're 3/3, toughness 3 each, 3 attacks, AP1 rending. Devour, I believe you roll a die, and if you roll a 6, that becomes a hit or something. I have it later in the video. Again, Shadowborn stealth, toughness 3, so pretty straightforward. Then we got the Specters. These guys can be really, really tough, even though they're 5/6. They got Ethereal, which is basically like they get stealth, but also they get an extra 6-up defense. So you got to roll 2. You got to get a 6 on 2 rolls to block a hit. They got Claws, which is, so they're not really great close up, but the Shadow ones, they get 2 attacks, so that's 10 attacks rending. Even though you got to hit on 5s, you know, you're still doing pretty well. You're getting a couple hits, and they also can teleport, so they're going to get extra movement, moving around, gives them a lot of flexibility. And then Omashu and Kothiz, I guess that's how you say the name. I forgot this rule in Snare during the game. It probably would have saved them, as you can see. As you'll see in the game, Shadowborn Stealth, Strider, Tough 6. They're going to get 6 attacks, half of which are going to be AP1, half of which are going to be AP2, and it's Tough 6. So this is a very good unit. Very tough unit, tougher than I thought it was going to be. Alright, so we start with the Lions, or Bear, whatever you want to call them. They move up the left flank, get into the forest, even though nobody can shoot at them. They have cover. And then Omashu Kothiz moves up. And then I slide my Phoenix Guard over here, ready to accept a charge from them. And they move up their Scourges. I did random movement, you know, they randomly took turns, and then I just moved them towards the closest enemy. We don't have any objectives here. It's just whoever kills the most, which is going to be a lot, as you'll see. Alright, so the Battle Sisters, I move up, and I changed this. They moved up a lot closer to get rid of the stealth, because they could do the quick shot. So they roll and actually get 3 hits here, because they are like over here instead. They fail 2 of their defenses, and there's the 2 guys dead. And that's where they actually truly ended up. Then they move the Butchers up and behind the Scourges. I move up the Warriors to complete this line here, because we've got basically a spearhead coming through, and so I've got all my troops ready for those 3 units. I give the Lions and the Sisters extra defense, not the Warriors. They move up the Specters. I move up my cavalry, because what now I'm thinking about doing is charging these. I don't know why, but I think these guys they need to be dealt with. So I want to get at them as soon as possible. And then they move the hounds. Now, if I were playing the hounds, I wouldn't have moved in within chart. In fact, I didn't even realize that they moved in chart. I just moved in max because that's what the solo rolls do. But in real life, I wouldn't have done that. So this is where the AI suffers. Alright, so this is the end of the round. We've got the Shadow Stalkers basically moved up completely forward, where I started to set up a little battle line here and protect the flank here, and this is going to be my main thrust right through here with my heavy cavalry to try to do as much damage as possible. And you see it from the other side. They've got their shadow hounds, specters, butchers. I'm sorry, these are the specters, and these are the stalker. Oh, I can't remember what they are. I'll think of it in a second. Amashu and Kothitz are over here, so they're coming straight forward. Alright, so we're round 2, and like I said, I'm going straight in with my cavalry. Impact hits, I missed one, and they needed to roll 6s to block, and they do block one, so 4 get through. And I don't know if I remember the ethereal here. And then I roll my 5 attacks. Is that what it is? I forget my... Did I forget? Yeah, I think I forgot my prowess. So I only put 4 hits there. They block 1, and then ethereal. Block another one. So 2 more die, I guess. They were going to die anyway because the hero didn't even get to go. And they turned to face Omashu, Kothitz, and they wiped out the specters. Alright, so now the Shadow Stalkers go. They move their regular troops into my archers. And this is going to get ugly fast. The non-leader troops, they scored 2 hits because they needed 5s. And I flub one of my defenses, so there goes 1. And then the leader goes and he gets 1 hit. And did I roll? Okay. And then 3 more attacks. I guess that's the leader. And I messed up 2 of mine, so there goes 2 more. I'm not sure. This was a week ago, so I'm going off of memory here. And yeah, I think I forgot the defense. So I roll for my to see if they stick. They have 3 qualities, so they stick. And then, oh, I'm sorry, that was an attack. So they attack back, flub the defense. And then I rolled my quality, and they run away. So they're gone. So I immediately, since the archers were here, I immediately charged with the warriors to take their place. And this will go a lot better, as I have, I need 4, so that's 1, 2, 3 hits. They get 2 blocks, or 2, they missed 2, so 2 go through. And then my champion, who gets all hits, and they flubbed every single one of their defenses, so that's 4 more die, which only leaves the champion and the leader. Okay, if that makes any sense. So they fail their morale test, and there should be 1 more die in there. There we go. 2 more dies. Wait a minute. I mean, they have to roll to see how many guys they lose. And it ends up... Oh, I'm sorry. They're hitting now. Okay, so they lose all those guys. And I forget what that one was. I think that was just the... Oh, this was the attack of the champion. He misses. And then the leader gets 3 attacks, I believe. He gets 2 hits. I have to defend, so I flub 1. Losing that. There we go. We got it now. Alright, so I lost 1. Then they roll their morale. They missed it. And so what they have to do, they have 4 wounds left from the leader. That has 3 wounds. And then champion has 1 wound. And so 1 to 3, they lose wounds. So what's going to end up happening is that they lose. Hold on a second. They lose the champion, and the leader has 1 wound. So now the butchers come in, and I'm tired, so I have to roll 6s and devour. Whenever this model attacks in melee, roll 1 die. On the 6, the target takes 1 wound. So I should be rolling 3. There we go. 1 wound goes through. And I think I rolled for defense. And I'm not sure if I'm supposed to roll that. Anyway, they roll their attacks, and they absolutely crush it, getting 5 hits there. So I got to roll. And with their AP, I think that I only defended 2, so that should be 3 dead. And somehow I have 4 there. Oh, because of the devour wound. Okay, got it. Alright, so I attack back, and I only got 5 attacks, plus my leader. So I hit 3 times. And then... oh gosh. What do we got here? That should be 3 hits. Oh, no, I'm rolling on 6s. That's right. And they roll on defense. They get their defense. And then my leader rolls, and he needs 6s because they're tired, and they get nothing. And so then I roll my morale, and I'm pinned because I just barely have enough because I start off with 11. The leader counts as the 11th. So I got 6, so when I fail my morale, I get a shaken token. I move my Phoenix because now I want to crisscross. I want my dragons to go after them, and the Phoenix are going to come and help out the warriors on this side. So Omashu and Cathoots come after my dragon warriors, and he has 3 attacks with AP 1, so he hits once. I try to defend, and that should be a successful defense. Then he rolls with his AP 2, gets 3 hits, and with AP 2 I need 5, so I don't block 2, so there's 2 that are dead. And then I attack back because I've got 3 regular guys and my leader. So my regular guys, they're tired, so they only hit once, and he flubs it, so he takes the damage. And then my leader needs 6s, and he gets nothing. And so we roll. I lost my the combat, but I do pass the morale, so they're good. So I've got 3 dragons and the leader, and he's got 1 wound. Now because of that, I was able to charge my lions into his hounds here, and so I need 3s, and I only miss 1. So that should be 9 hits, and they need 5s to block. So they miss 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's enough to wipe them out. And I just turn, and that's how it ends, because the other move was supposed to be these hounds, and they're gone now. So that's how the turn 2 ends. And so my lions are here ready to flank the butchers. My Phoenix Guard is ready to take over this leader, and we've got a face-off here between their leader and my dragons and my leader. So looking good for the High Elves. Turn 3. Since I went last, he gets to go first, and he goes right after my dragons, which is a really good move. Misses the AP 1s, but does get a hit on the AP 2. I mess up my defense, so I lose 1. So now I have a choice. Do I go after him and complete the attack, but then I don't get my lances? And he's got defensive 4, so I probably should have gone after him, but I decided, let's take a risk. I gotta roll a 3 for them to be okay. And actually they would have run away because... yeah, but I did roll a 4, so that was a really big risk. I probably should have attacked. And because I wanted the charge. So I lucked out there. My Phoenix Guard goes into the last Scourge leader. And I need 3, so I got 3 hits. He only has 2 wounds left. But because I have rending, I got 3 rends here, so he has to roll 6s, and he only blocks 1, so that's 2, so that should kill him. And there he is, he's dead. Alright, so they turn to face the butchers. The butchers attack my warriors, and they do the devour, get nothing, and then they hit on 3, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. And then I block on, let's see, I forget what their AP was, but I do think I messed up all my blocks. So that should be 5 dead. Yep. And so the leader is the only guy that's left here. And he needs to roll 6s to hit. He gets 2 6s, but there's no AP. But they do flub one of their defense. They needed 3s. So they get a wound. And then I have to roll for morale, and I passed it, so my leader stays on the board. Now I took off the symbol here. I totally forgot about it, but I also forgot to have them charge, so it worked out. It ended up being the same. And so I send the lions in against the butchers. Butchers are tired. Now I was a little fast and loose with the rules. Yeah, I'm doing rank and flank, but I'm really doing the regular Age of Sigmar. I'm not doing flank and rear charge or anything like that. It's just straight up Age of Fantasy with the aesthetic of the regiments. And so the lions come in here. They get their 10 attacks. They need 3s, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits. And so they have to defend on 3s. So let's see, they failed 1. So that's 1 more wound on them. And they attack back needing 6s. So they do get 2 6s. And I'm assuming there was some AP, I forget, but I do block 1. So I lose 1 warrior, which means it's a draw in the combat, so nobody rolls. Then I get my charge in with the Dragon Princes, so I'm going to get... I really should have 3 impact here, but I missed 1, and they blocked it. And then I've got 3 attacks. Do I have 3? Is there? No, this must be the leader. And he has AP 2, so that should be all missed. What is that? Let me just back up. They go in. Impact. Okay, so that was another impact. So they had to defend the 3 impacts. There we go. Alright, so the 3 impacts, they flub 2. And I guess I don't know. He gets a wound. I don't know what's going on here. He ends up with 2 more wounds. Okay. Whatever those rolls are. And then he attacks back. He needs 6s, so he missed there. Hit there with the AP 2, and that should be a block. So I win combat, and he rolls a 5 to stick in the fight. So, and essentially what ended up happening is that I gave him 2 more wounds, so he's halfway down now. If he messed up that, well, I mean, he's Shadowborn, so he just would have lost more wounds. Alright, so that's how the round ends. I'm sorry I got a little confused there about the dice rolls, but my dragons are still fighting these guys, and the butchers are now surrounded by the rest of my army. Go to round 4, final round. He gets the first shot, so he comes in, gets 3 hits with AP 1, flub 2 of them, so I lose the 2 regular guys, and then he rolls his AP2 and misses them all. So I just go ahead and roll. I should have just attacked because I no longer have lances. My guy has a great weapon. But I just sat there and took the roll, got the morale check because all I needed was 3, and I'm good to go. So yeah, I messed up that whole tactic there. I send my Phoenix Guard because they're the ones that can do the most damage to the butchers with their rending. And they don't get rend, but they do get 2 hits, and he messes up 1, so he loses a whole model. He attacks back with the butchers, It's... I guess that's Devour. And then I try to defend it. I really don't know what's going on there. Alright, so their attacks, they get 4 hits. I have to defend. I lose 3. And then I think this is the regeneration. So I don't get any of those, so I should lose 3 there. Yep, lost 3. So I lose that battle, but I do make my roll and I back off. Okay, they come in with the butchers. Now they do the charge. I guess that was Devour. I should only have 2 there. And then he's got 3 hits. Oh man, I really don't know what's going on here. What ends up happening is... Oh, okay, because they need 6s. Gotcha. So, Devour, he needs 6s, got 2 hits. I mess up the 2 rolls. I do get the 2 regen, so he doesn't do any damage. There we go. Okay, and I remember. Alright, so then I attack back. I only got 2 attacks. I do get 6s. Those are Rens, so he needs 6s, so I do 1 damage. And that's where the damage comes from. Okay, that does make sense now. I just gotta follow the flow. He makes his morale check, so he backs off. So now he's down to 5 total wounds on that unit. I take my leader, go in there. He gets 3 attacks. He makes 2 hits. They block 1, and so there's another damage there. Let's see. He attacks back, and he's tired, so it's 1 hit. And then 1 more hit on the AP2. Oh, is this me? Oh, okay, no, I don't understand. So I went in there, 3 hits, 2 hits there. He messes up his... So that's another hit. I guess that's... I don't know. That should be 1 hit. Is that the same? Okay, same picture, gotcha. So it's 1 hit. I don't know. He had 3 wounds, maybe? Oh. Anyway, he kills him. Let's see if we can interpret this. It should be 1 impact and 3 attacks. And he messed it up. Okay, so he gets 1 hit. He attacks back, gets 1 hit. Same roll. Oh geez, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened, but I ended up killing him. I think what it was that I hit him and then he flubbed his roll for morale and died. Anyway, I forgot the ensnare, so he should have been alive and done some damage. So he should have had some damage. He should have had some damage. Maybe one of them crumbles or runs away. But it should have ended. The game should have ended with these 2 guys. Anyway, the Lions go into the butchers, and they get 1. Let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits. They need 3s to block, and they miss 3 of them, so a whole model dies. They attack by Devour, then there are 3 hits, and I block 2 of them. So I lose 1 lion. There we go. That's a little bit more simple. So I win combat and he makes his morale. And then my champion dude, last ditch effort, he has 4 attacks, no AP. He hits 3 times. And they blow 2 of them. So that last butcher does get killed by the champion. And that's how it ends, even though Omashu and Cathoots really should have survived if I got the ensnare right and I really knew what happened on the last round. But just know that they should have been facing off still. Regardless, I had 4 units remaining and they would have had 1, and I would declare the High Elves the champions. Well, the winners of this battle, even if... Cathoots or Olmits or whatever their names are survived, that still would have been 1 less point for the High Elves. So it was just fun. I was just testing it out to see how the armies work and start getting into fantasy a little bit more now that I finished painting up those armies, and just wanted to see them on the board and have some fun with them. The fantasy is definitely a lot more close combat, in your face type of combat. I'm looking at a little bit of alternative how to play the regiments game, because I think the regiments are a little unsatisfying. I want it to be... I was looking at the phases turn, and maybe that would be a little bit better to play. It's in the advanced rule booklet, and I'm looking into that. I think that might be the way to go forward, because if you play regiments with as it is, it's basically a rank and flank Age of Fantasy game, and I don't think it really fits. I think it was just kind of thrown together, but I think just with a tweak here and there of how you can do movements and charges and so forth, and I think if they just do something with loose order formations, where you have scouts, people that can rotate and move more freely to play on the flanks or something, I think that would make the game a lot more dynamic. But it's still a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I hope you did too, and I will catch you the next time.